And I know it wasn't announced that Caitlin Clark wouldn't play until right before, but this is a preseason game where Clark is not available, and yet you
want to body slam me? Cool, I'll just drop 21 on your head. That was basically Sophie Cunningham's answer after Mystics rookie Kiki Ariafen hit her with a flagrant foul that could have seriously injured Indiana's newest weapon.
This proves there is an agenda against the Indiana Fever. There is an attack agenda.
Something they lacked last season: grit, unity, and a team that refuses to get pushed around. Even with Caitlin Clark out nursing a sore leg, the Fever made one thing crystal clear: they're done being anybody's punching bag. This was the start of a new era for Indiana. Players like Sophie Cunningham, Lexi Hull, and Aaliyah Boston made it loud and clear: they're not backing down from anyone. In this video, we're breaking it all down. Sophie's fiery response, how the Fever rallied together, and how the Mystics reacted after all the smoke. If you're riding with Indiana, drop a spicy Sophie in the comments. Let's get into it.
This is the first time we're witnessing this. They're attacking Sophie Cunningham just like they did Caitlin last year. There is an agenda against this basketball team, and I'm calling it out right now. The league better step in immediately. They better step in immediately. We better not be dealing with what we dealt with last year with Caitlin.
What do you do when the face of your franchise is stuck on the sidelines? For the Indiana Fever, it meant heading into their preseason opener against the Washington Mystics without Caitlin Clark. And this wasn't just any absence. This was her first missed game in 5 years. From every single college matchup at Iowa to her rookie WNBA debut, Clark always showed up until now. Head coach Christy Sides made the tough but smart call to sit her out. Clark called it a little tightness in her left leg, and with a long season ahead, Sides said, "We've got to think long term." It was the right move for Clark's health, but in the short term, it left the Fever wide open and vulnerable heading into battle.
I mean, look, the biggest thing is we got to think long term. Like, we got to make sure that we're not putting Caitlin at risk for injury. We're not putting our team in a position, where we're thinking short term and not long term. It's a long season, 4 more games than last season. So we want to make sure that we're extra cautious and put her health and wellness first and foremost. And honestly, it's been one day at a time. How she's reacted to treatment, how she's reacted to workouts. So positive progress is being made, but we can't be short-sighted.
The opening quarter was rough for Indiana. They got buried early, outscored 24-13 as the Mystics took full control. Missed layups, no rhythm on offense. The Fever looked completely out of sync. The gap quickly stretched to 15 points, and fans watching had to be thinking, is this game already over before it's even started?
This team came out very slow, very lethargic, very stuck in the mud, very dragging ass, didn't have energy to them, didn't have flow to them.
Picture this: the Washington Mystics saw an opening and went for the kill. From the very first tip, they came out swinging, physical, aggressive, and ready to dominate. With Caitlin Clark out, they tried to bully the Fever, daring someone, anyone, to rise to the moment. The Mystics smelled blood, and for a while, it looked like they were cruising toward an easy win against a Clarkless Indiana squad.
Stephanie White seemed frustrated. We were down 15. Stephanie White called the timeout, and she must have stuck her foot up her team's ass and said, you see this arena? You see all these fans that came to watch you guys? 12,461 people. They didn't come to watch you guys bullshit. They didn't come to watch you guys drag ass. Let's play some defense and let's get it together offensively.
Meanwhile, an unlikely hero stepped up, Lexi Hull. Coming off the bench with pure hustle and energy, she flipped the momentum. She racked up 4 steals, threw off Washington's rhythm, and dropped 13 key points to keep Indiana in the fight. Kelsey Mitchell gave her props, calling out Hull for doing the dirty work and bringing the spark when it mattered most. Honestly, this was the most confident we've ever seen Lexi Hull.
Lexi Hull looked the most confident I've ever seen Lexi Hull look. Lexi Hull looked the most confident I have ever seen Lexi Hull look, putting the ball on the ground, taking it to the rack, shooting threes, middies, turnaround fades. Whether they went in or not, we can get into that another day once the season starts. But the fact that she's confident enough in her game to where she's at least willing to try to do something to make the offense happen, to create points, to create confusion among the defense.
Even with the rough start and a big early deficit, the Fever showed something powerful: resilience. Missing their superstar wasn't an excuse. It became a reason to rise. Other players stepped up, found their rhythm, and the defense locked in. Suddenly, that double-digit hole didn't look so impossible to climb out of.
Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull, these two players. Sophie Cunningham gave us 21, Lexi Hull gave us 13. The Blonde Bombers is what they're calling them. We were down 15 in the first half. Why were we down 15? We cut it to within 3 at halftime.
So how did the Fever stay in the fight without Caitlin Clark? The answer wasn't one player trying to drop 20+ points to fill her shoes. It came from a full team effort. Unexpected heroes stepping up, playing with heart, and refusing to get bullied by Washington's physical style. But the Mystics had no idea that strategy was about to blow up in their faces. Midway through the second quarter, everything flipped. That's when Mystics rookie Kyla Irwin went full WWE and body slammed Sophie Cunningham with 5 minutes left in the half. And from that moment on, the entire energy shifted.
I know it wasn't announced that Caitlin Clark wouldn't play until right before, but this is a preseason game where Clark is not available, and yet you probably...
This wasn't just a tough basketball foul. This looked more like something straight out of a wrestling match. Sophie Cunningham, who came to Indiana this offseason in a 4-team deal, had been quietly finding her groove and chipping away at Washington's lead. She was cutting without the ball, opening up space, and putting pressure on the Mystics' defense. But then came the moment that flipped the game on its head, the confrontation that changed everything.
Probably have 10,000 people here and a real home court advantage.
Sophie Cunningham. There you go. I mean, she's right there saying, don't you do that. She's telling the rookie right now.
As both players fought for the rebound, Kiki Iran grabbed Cunningham and tossed her to the floor with force. The crowd let out a collective gasp, and for a moment, teammates from both sides stood still. But then, in an instant, Cunningham bounced up, storming right at Iran, getting in her face without hesitation.
And that's Kiki Arafin, and I got to tell you, here we go with the smiling like you've done. I don't get it. This is the worst part of the WNBA. It is.
You don't do that, Cunningham shouted, her voice sharp and clear even over the broadcast. The officials quickly intervened, but the damage was already done. After reviewing the play, they handed out a flagrant 1 foul to Kiki Iran. Honestly, the call seemed pretty light considering just how dangerous the move looked.
I mean, yikes. Kiki, the new Kennedy. A lot of people not happy. Demon Sophie, yeah, she showed up. Look at this. They're celebrating that. Okay. I mean, it's crazy. Here we go again. Here we go again. She's yelling while Kiki's laughing in her face. Never seen a rook have a vet so rattled.
But the Mystics weren't finished with their target. Later in the game, Brittany Sykes threw another unnecessary shove, sending Cunningham crashing to the floor once again. It was anything but subtle. This wasn't basketball, it was flat out bullying. A clear pattern was developing, with Washington players deliberately going after Cunningham.
This was another one right here. This was Brittany Sykes, and Wnba Bonner got involved in this one. She did. Little standing on business.
The Fever's bench went wild. This wasn't the same Indiana team that got pushed around last season. Dana Bonner, another veteran addition, didn't hesitate to step up and confront Sykes, showing just how much the team's protective culture had grown. The message was loud and clear. Mess with one Fever player, and you mess with all of them. What's truly fascinating is how these incidents shifted the entire game. The Mystics thought they were being tough, trying to intimidate their opponents. Instead, they sparked a fire in Cunningham and united the entire Fever squad. After the officials reviewed both incidents and handed out penalties, the game continued, but the dynamic on the court had completely changed. The Fever weren't backing down, they were fired up. Coach White later called Cunningham a dog, a term in basketball for a player who's all heart with relentless fight.
Oh my God, Sophie's a dog. She just is, she's a competitor. She's versatile, so she allows us to do different things. Like, she plays with such a toughness. She's huge, and she's going to be for us all season long. But what she brings from an energy standpoint, she raises the level of play of everybody around her as soon as she steps foot on the floor. Hell, even on the sideline. I mean, her communication, everything. You know, she's definitely an X factor.
So what triggered these confrontations? Was it the Mystics' frustration as their lead slipped away? Or was it a calculated attempt to intimidate the Fever's newest addition? Whatever Washington's plan was, it backfired completely. Instead of breaking Cunningham's spirit, they ignited her competitive fire. Instead of intimidating the Fever, they brought the team together, and rather than securing a victory, they set the stage for one of the most satisfying comebacks you could ever witness. The Mystics thought they could bully Sophie Cunningham, but they were about to regret it. When opponents try to physically intimidate you, how do you respond? Sophie Cunningham had a simple answer: drop 21 points and lead your team to victory, and that's exactly what she did after those brutal encounters with the Mystics.
Lexi Hull gets a nice steal here, runs down the court, finds Sophie Cunningham, who pumps up the
Drawn on the drive. High arcing pass, it was too high. Hull pulls down the rebound. Here's Cunningham again. Cunningham coast to coast.
What a first half for Sophie Cunningham.
Oh, yeah. And this is as we've clawed back after being down 15.
After being body slammed by Erie often, something shifted in Sophie Cunningham. The anger in her eyes turned into pure, laser-sharp focus. You could see it in how she played. More decisive, more aggressive. It wasn't just about basketball anymore. It was about making a statement. Cunningham began attacking from all angles. Mid-range jumpers, drives to the basket, and three-pointers. Her full offensive range was on display. The Mystics tried everything to throw her off her game, bodying her, bumping her. But with every physical play, Cunningham only grew stronger and more determined. Her efficiency was something to behold. She hit 6 of 11 shots from the field, nearly 55%. But it was at the free throw line where she really showed her composure, knocking down 7 of 8 attempts for an outstanding 87.5%. This wasn't just about piling up points. This was smart, high percentage basketball in the clutch moments.
Sophie Cunningham, 12 points, 3 rebounds, 1 steal in 11 minutes off the bench in the first half. Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull played a majority of this game for the Indiana Fever. And they played together a majority of the time they were in this game. Sophie Cunningham showed exactly why we brought her in here. We won that trade hands down. Hands down, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We won the Sophie Cunningham trade.
But Cunningham's impact wasn't just about scoring. She dominated the boards, grabbing 8 rebounds, fought for every loose ball, and played with the kind of intensity that lifted the entire team. This is exactly why Coach White called her a dog after the game. Basketball's ultimate praise for a player who shows up with relentless heart and fight.
Austin looking backdoor and got it to Cunningham.
You guys know what else we're seeing in all these videos? Movement. AB, up, there comes Kelsey around the top. There goes Lexi Hull, back door. Sophie Cunningham, back door. Lexi Hull goes back out to the corner. God forbid, folks, we are seeing things that we haven't seen at all last season.
As the fourth quarter rolled on, the Fever's comeback gained unstoppable momentum, with Cunningham leading the charge. The Mystics' once comfortable 15-point lead vanished in the blink of an eye. The game was tied heading into overtime, setting the stage for Cunningham's ultimate moment of payback. In the extra period, Cunningham took full control, sinking clutch shots and hitting crucial free throws. When it mattered most, she delivered. The Mystics, who had tried to intimidate her earlier, could only stand by and watch as Cunningham took over.
I saw Sophie Cunningham playing out of this world. Made me feel good. I saw ball movement on offense. Made me feel good. I saw no volleyball passes on. Made me feel good. I saw fight from everybody that was on the court at once. There was no 4 versus 5 when it came to fight, heart on the. We weren't lacking that today. We weren't lacking heart at all. And in case people thought this team might be lacking some heart, you got one thing coming to you. You think you're going to be pushing around Sophie Cunningham like that? Don't worry. Sophie, I got this.
Coach White didn't hold back when praising Cunningham. She elevates the game of everyone around her, whether she's on the court or even on the sideline. Her communication is key. She's truly an X factor, White said. And the irony of it all? The very player the Mystics tried to target became the reason for their downfall. Washington's attempt at intimidation completely backfired. Instead of breaking Sophie Cunningham, they unleashed her. How did Cunningham respond to being body slammed by Kiki Iran? By dropping a game-high 21 points, pulling down 8 rebounds, and hitting the game winner in overtime. The message was clear: try to bully Sophie Cunningham, and you'll regret it when she makes you pay on the scoreboard.
We have people that aren't going to put up with the nonsense this year. You want to try the Fever? Go ahead and try us. Go ahead and try. 1 through 5. Somebody's going to step up and get in your face. Someone's going to step up and say, you need to relax. Whether it's Wnba Bonner here or Sophie Cunningham on the bottom of your screen. You mess with this team, we have some people that are going to stand up for themselves and stand up for others.
When the final buzzer echoed through Gainbridge Fieldhouse, it wasn't just another preseason win. What we saw was the birth of a whole new Indiana Fever team. Last season, this was a squad that often got pushed around. When teams got physical, the Fever tended to back down, but not anymore.
Well, first and foremost, they play so hard. They play with multiple levels of effort. They're both just tough as nails. They have length. They use their length really well, their activity level on the defensive end and offensively. I mean, they're like mirror images of one another. I mean, the way that they can cut, the way that they can spread the floor, and what they bring on the defensive end of the floor.
The most telling moment came right after the game. The Washington Mystics players, the same ones who'd been dishing out body slams and shoves all night, refused to shake hands. They stormed straight to the locker room. Why? Because they had just seen their own tactics backfire against them by a team they thought they could bully. Over 12,000 fans filled the arena, creating an electric atmosphere. The crowd went wild with every defensive stop, every basket made, and especially when the Fever players stood up for each other after those cheap shots. Sophie Cunningham took notice, calling the fans the sixth man and crediting their energy for fueling the team's epic comeback.
You want to make sure that your home court is special to you as a team, but you want to make it hard as heck for other people to come in here to Gainbridge, and they don't want to play here, right? And I think with that, as an energy player, you got to get your fans involved. That's our sixth man right there.
This was a complete team overhaul. Lexi Hull stepped up with 4 steals, diving for loose balls and shutting down passing lanes. Her defensive hustle perfectly matched Cunningham's offensive firepower. Mitchell, Boston, Hull, and Cunningham, they all showed the new identity taking shape right before our eyes. The veteran additions have completely transformed the team's DNA. Cunningham and Wnba Bonner aren't just adding points and rebounds, they're bringing a whole new attitude, a toughness that's spreading across the entire roster. When Ian body slammed Cunningham, notice how quickly Bonner stepped in. That kind of response wasn't happening last year.
We put Sophie in position where she was running the point guard, right? We put Lexi in position at the end of the game where she was running the point guard. And so I'm thankful to have players like that who are comfortable being uncomfortable and doing what's necessary for our team to find success. I mean, that's part of, one of our core values is be selfless, and sometimes that means playing out of position. And I thought they both did a great job of that, but really like their energy and competitive spirit.
Coach White highlighted the key factors that led to this win. The Fever were absolutely perfect at the free throw line, sinking an impressive 27 of 28 attempts, 96.4%. In tight games like this, those points are often the difference maker. The defense also stepped up in a big way. I loved how we pressured them all over the court, even at 94 feet, White said. Our defense gave us the chance to get back into the game and ultimately finish strong.
I liked our aggressiveness. I liked the fact that we picked up, pretty much 94 feet, that they didn't get anything easy. I mean, it's not often that you come out with a win in games where you shoot 30% from the floor. And I felt like our defense really held, gave us an opportunity to get back in the game, gave us an opportunity to finish the game.
This wasn't just another win, it was a bold statement. The Indiana Fever are no longer the team that opponents could push around last season. They've become tougher, more resilient, and they've got each other's backs when the going gets tough. The Mystics tried to use physical intimidation as a strategy, but it completely backfired. Instead of breaking the Fever's spirit, they united them. Instead of establishing control, they woke up a sleeping giant. That's why the Mystics couldn't face the Fever in the handshake line. They had just witnessed the rise of a team that won't be bullied anymore, a team that turned their own tactics against them.
This isn't the soft Fever team that you can push around last year. That's, let's just push them around and bully them because nobody on that team has any to step up to us. Don't worry, we took the offseason seriously.
This preseason win revealed something truly exciting happening in Indiana. The Fever aren't just Caitlin Clark's team anymore. They've evolved into a squad with heart, grit, and an identity built on toughness. When Clark returns to join stars like Cunningham, Hull, and Bonner, the rest of the league better watch out. The 2025 Fever might just become the team nobody wants to face. They've got scoring, defense, and now they've got attitude. The takeaway from this game is crystal clear. clear. Try to bully the Indiana Fever and you'll regret it. They're standing up for each other, no longer backing down, and this is just the beginning. If you're all in with Indiana, drop a spicy Sophie in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Click the video on the screen and we'll catch you in the next one.